PC game. Let's fucking go. Hey everybody, I'm Peace Out. Welcome to a very special live stream, guys. I'm your host, Taladia Plays, and we're here to remember Mikey Sutton. Guys, he recently passed away. If you guys are new, um, he was a great individual, someone that I looked up to in terms of becoming a journalist of some sort, and he was a great individual. I have a lot to say about Mikey tonight. Um, but yeah, I thought I'll kick things off with a um, minute paused, of course, to remember Mikey at the beginning of the stream. So that is the aim for today. Hey Socks, how you doing? And guys, if you guys want to donate, and if you haven't already, the link to the GoFundMe is in the chat right now, guys. You guys can donate. It's pinned. It's the pinned comment. So if you guys are okay, I want to donate to Mikey's GoFundMe. By all means, you can. I'm not monetizing the stream because I don't. I think it's. I want to show some respect, and I don't want to gain anything from this. I just want to stream and talk about the good times about Mikey. And if any of you guys that I've sent a link out to want to hop on, let me know and I will send you a link. And you can tell stories about Mikey. There is one thing I want to do show, and that is something to do thanks to Neo Sevens. Um, it's about Mikey and how we all basically got to know him. So go to StreamYard. All right, take a look at this.
This is our community, and that's what again I want to remind people. It's like, there's different geek sites out there. Like we got this covered and Screen Rant, all this stuff out there that just could throw out whatever they want to throw out there.
Thank you.
We are at the post of Geekosity. We have the guy right here, the editor-in-chief and owner of Geekosity right here. And he's a geek just like us.
Yep.
And we're right at the post right here. So I'm saying support that.
Oh,
if you haven't already, share any articles and continue to do that. And I feel that's going to ramp up going forward as well. So like I said, appreciate y'all supporting this platform.
Thank you.
More to come. Mikey, what's coming up with you before we close this up?
Okay, I have night shift tonight with Skywalker at 9 p.m. We're gonna go over the Rebel Moon trailer as well. So I'm doing some articles that are coming out tomorrow on Geekosity. Thank you guys for all the support. We are the voice of you. Okay, we are the voice in the streets. We listen to you. We actually do listen to you. Unlike that man over there at DC Studios that kind of just like laughs at all of you and tries to punch down and shit like that. So, but thank you guys, and still I love what you're doing. I saw your podcast last night. The James Gunn that loved that thumbnail too. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was probably the standout. Was that Muppet gun?
Funniest thumbnail, man. I was in hysterics when I saw it. Like, oh my god.
I had to let Gunn and his condiment kings know that we serious out here, bro. We serious out here. Shout out to Bat Dance, and I hope Cavill uses British accent for the
you never know.
Rebel Moon.
He probably will.
I think Zach's gonna let him be comfortable. Yeah,
let him be comfortable. Yeah, he's more charming with a British accent too, as well. So I think he'll bring that out.
Was that the Man from U.N.C.L.E. film?
Yeah.
He had his British accent. He's very,
so This was like
I mean, I thought
last
there was a
week,
good film. Now, part
and
two probably won't happen because Army Hammer is like eating people, so you can't really do
Yeah.
you can't really do that in
No,
part
yeah,
two
you
with
can't have
that.
can't eat your co-stars like that, you know.
You can't eat
let's pause this for a second because we got a guest. Let's bring on the guy, the myth, the guy that burns the house down. That is Neil Sevens.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's up, man? And we also got another
Uh,
guest. That is, we got Josh in the building.
hey, Josh.
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on, you guys? What's up, Neil Seven? Taladi
yeah,
What's
Place.
up? What's up?
we're doing. I'm doing a stream for Mikey to raise awareness for his GoFundMe because we can reach that $10,000 goal donation. We can reach it. So I want to raise that awareness. I'm not monetizing the stream at all because I don't want to get anything from this. Any money that you guys want to donate to, use the GoFundMe because that's why I want to do that. And I want to talk about stories. How were you guys introduced to Mikey? I want to hear your guys' stories. I want to hear all the great stuff, because we're here to remember Mikey in a good way, in a positive way, in a way that he would only say, you know what, Tulaji's doing a good thing here, getting everyone amped up, talking about stories, talking about the good times. So
Yeah.
let's kick it off with Neo Sevens because I know Neo Sevens was the first guy that actually, I've known Neo Sevens for quite a long time, so I want to hear his story about Mikey since he sent me that link.
Oh man, Mikey. Honestly, I in the beginning, during the release of Snyder Cut, at time, right? I was watching all these different channels, right? And then they were like the only like positive Snyder sources, right? So it was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then we would listen to everything they say, and we would have our hopes up and stuff, and then they just after this like during the time of when the Snyder Cut was announced, right?
Yeah,
Their platforms started changing, like their direction. It went from like a move on to uh, you guys are toxic, and it just went to a different direction. And I was happy to see Sil. He was on one of these channels, and when I saw Sil on the channel, and I was looking at the way he carried himself, I was like, I kind of like this guy. And then when he started coming out with his own channel, I started following him there, like a good lurker, just listening
yeah,
in the background, watching the streams and stuff. And I didn't like I should I should like I didn't like the video. I was just like watching to see what was up. I went back and like a lot of the videos, by the way. Um, and then after a while, because I was rocking with Sil, 1,000%. I was
yeah,
rocking with Sil because I like what he was putting down. I get him. I understand where he's coming from. He spoke my language, and then he starts referring to articles like Geekosity by Mikey Sutton, and then at first I didn't really think much of it because I'm there to support Sil, and then but Sil was a real champion of Mikey, 1,000%,
oh yeah,
because he kept referring to his scoops, he kept referring to articles, he kept sharing his articles on Geekosity, and then he started bringing Mikey on. Yeah, uh, I don't remember what show it was, but I do remember the feeling of. I think I said it in a chat, someone's chat before. I was like, "Who is this guy? I like him. I like this guy.
yeah,
He's totally geek,
Hmm.
but um, he was like a cool geek. That he's like it's hard to describe Mikey because Mikey is so many good things, right?
yeah,
Um, I would like to think of Mikey, if I had to put it in words, I would like to think of Mikey as he is that he is that cool uncle, right? He's not around all the time, but when he does come around, he brings that energy. He brings that coolness. He brings the gifts with the bombs and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And he's like a he could be like your complete best friend. You could
Yeah.
totally see yourself hanging out with this guy. But he's in your life just enough that you're like, wow, I have nothing bad to say about this guy.
Yeah.
I have nothing bad. He's like totally cool. And I think it was after Mikey started coming on Still's channel a lot. I was like, man, I dig this guy, man. I really support this guy. And then when I started seeing some of the detractors on social media or maybe in
Yeah.
the chat, they talk their little junk, and you know, I for me, because Mikey was a sweetheart, man. He was just let water off his shoulder, didn't let it affect him. But for someone like me, nah, I'm gonna
You
roast
bet.
your ass.
You bet
If
those
I'm cool
people.
with somebody, I'm roasting you. You insult my friend, I'm coming after you. You're insulting me. And I remember, I believe it was a Zod Rider stream. Could have been last year. I don't recall. Uh, um, I was on there. I was at work actually, and I had to go on there because that's when we had an issue online with a certain pastor, and and he was trolling the comments, and I was like, I can't take this. I gotta get a link, and I gotta say my piece. And for me, I vehemently defended Mikey while roasting this beta, right? Because Mikey is that guy. Mikey was that guy, you know. He was the guy you go to bat for, right? He's the guy you give your last dollar to, you know. Uh, he was just an amazing person. He had a gift, and Sil is correct when he said after Mikey's first stroke, Mikey lived like his best life. He was like he hit the ground running. He just didn't stop, you know. He created a comic. He we just celebrated the third anniversary of his Geekosity mag.
Yes.
He got these offers, books, movies, show. Oh my goodness, he was just like
He was
he was
doing everything.
unstoppable.
He was doing
He was
everything in
just
it.
yeah, he was everything. Mikey is everything, you know. And I like to think that we all could take a piece of Mikey, what we knew of Mikey, the shared experiences we have with Mikey, and we can just move forward and celebrate his life while moving on with our lives and expanding our lives and taking inspiration from Mike, what Mikey shared with us and his example. Um, Mikey was a beautiful man, and it definitely it was tough. It's still tough. I mean, and it's still going to be tough because
Yeah.
Mikey is like a scar in your heart. You know what happened to Mikey in the end, but the beautiful thing is Mikey knew how much we loved him. Mikey knew it. You could hear it in his voice. He was you could tell he was like very jovial and even though Mikey was going through whatever he was going through and behind the scenes, he was always pushing and striving for all of us to do better. He wanted us to succeed. He wanted us to grow our platforms. He's a very selfless guy, very generous man. Um, and I'm glad to have been able to call him my friend. and I'm glad to have been able to share a laugh with him, and it's it's tragic, it's sad, and it's just not fair. It's not fair, but we live on from Mikey. We live
Yeah,
on, and we try to thrive, you know, and we never forget his name. We never forget to share his name, and make sure his name gets the respect it deserves. He's a good man, and it's wonderful the outpouring of love that's been going on, um, even across sides. They've been mostly uh, respectful enough to share their condolences and understand this is real life.
yes, yeah,
Besides all the comic book stuff and the geeky stuff, this is real life.
yeah,
Family lost a mother lost her son, sisters lost their brother, nieces and nephews lost their uncle, and most of all, we lost our friend. So um, I'm glad that we Mikey is the type of person, he brings people together, and
yeah,
he brought a lot of us together, and yeah, I'll definitely remember him forever, and
y-
and I'll tell my grandchildren and my grandchildren's children about Mikey Sutton, because he was that guy,
yeah.
definitely.
For me, like getting to know Mikey was actually firstly I was introduced to Mikey via his website, Geekosity. He had an article up for Henry Cavill as Superman, and this was like a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, I should say. Round about the time when Snyder Cut was happening and everything. So, and he pointed me to Sill's stream or
Mhm.
Sil Abdul's channel. So I went there, chilled, got interacting with everybody, saying hello, being interactive with everybody, and Mikey just Mikey just started to notice me a little bit, and then I got introduced to into him from a mutual friend of ours, right? And he got me onto the panel. Mike used to pop on the stream, knew exactly how to make you smile. Every time when he popped on the
For
stream,
sure.
from the man from outer space, literally he was like, comes on the stream, drop bombs left, right, and center, and he just knew, we'll be smiling and we will never forget it. And
No.
and that's the one thing I'll never forget. It's like how Mikey just straight up, knew how to put a smile on people's faces, which was the most important thing, and brought us all together. And as Bishop says, it's like Mikey inspired us all with his passion for art, including his makes his dreams come true by putting me in the Mikeyverse, and that is forever in my heart. Like for me, Mikey just straight up knew exactly what to say, and when I got inducted into the Dreamwalker universe, I was just like, "What? Are you are you, are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, I'll bring you in Dreamwalker. It won't be till issue 6, but you will be in Dreamwalker, Taladia. I've been profiling you." I've been like, "Wait, Mike has been watching my stuff? Wait, what?" So, I couldn't believe it. And then Zod, a couple of nights ago, Zod told me about a couple of things that Mike had planned for me, and I was just like, I was like, I couldn't believe it, and I was just like, but obviously I'm bummed out by that, but at the same time, um, I understood exactly what Mikey was trying to do. Um, s- Sock says if Mikey liked you, he would take care of you. Mikey had the biggest and kindest heart I've ever seen in anyone. I agree. And Bishop, thank you for the $2 donation. That donation will go straight directly to Mikey's GoFundMe. So I'll say that now. And Josh, I want to ask you the same question I asked Neil. How was you introduced to Mikey Sutton? How was it? How does it feel like, for you? Um, how is it like, interacting with him on a really good note and all of that good stuff?
Well, beautiful words from you, Taladia, and Neo Sevens. That same sentiment. Like that's Mikey, is watching this, and that little setup you got back there is amazing. So you honor him with that, man. That's pretty impressive. I'm jealous. I haven't been able to track down issue 2 of Dreamwalker, so you cherish those because those are definitely from a man who was one of a kind and genuine. I've been able to kind of like I guess briefly talk about how I kind of knew about him on Bat Dan's channel. Very similar to you guys. COVID in 2020. As we were all isolated, and kind of
Yeah.
siloed into our own little bubbles. Found out about Sil. And I think we'll probably majority of us, like Mikey said himself on his Geekosity stream, Sil is kind of the nucleus, I think, for most of us and how we found out the man that was Meta Mikey Sutton. I think so honestly, it had to have been before Rogues, like because I've been like you, Neo 7, similar. I was a lurker. I was like always listening. Like I'll always, even now, guys, like I feel bad because I'll pop in a chat, but then I'll like walk away. I'll be like clean. Yesterday I was watching Sky and Retro Nerd Girl, and I was like cleaning, and then I came back and all these people were saying hi, and I was like, oh, sorry. So I'm oftentimes listening to YouTube. I'll sometimes be driving. I have it connected through my car, and so I'm like doing stuff. And so that's what I was doing a lot of times to keep informed in COVID. Like Sil was talking about a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know exactly what the stream was, but Mikey was on one. And I said this to Bat Dan, what I noticed during COVID, a lot of these YouTubers' behavior was just interesting, in my opinion, or it was flipping, kind of like what you were alluding to, Neo Sevens. Like behavior was kind of changing. People were shifting energy, and it was just weird in the Snyderverse, community. And you started like looking at people and like, okay, people who were very anti-Snyder when the Snyder Cut was coming out, all of a sudden we're like, oh, champion the man, and then trying to get access to the interview. And, so I started looking at people that I used to watch with a side eye, why aren't you being consistent, and this is a YouTube digital space, you kind of like, okay, who's genuine, who's not, right? And through like Sil's channel, I started watching from silently, would never interact, just kind of listen, learned about Sil, liked him just like you, Neo Sevens. And then when Mikey got on, I was a little like, at first I was a little skeptical of the man. I was like, who is this guy? You don't see the face. And it's like, who is this? Is this somebody just saying stuff, But
The mystery man.
he was a mystery, and I was intrigued by that. I was just like, but he also kind of knew what he was talking about. That's something that was missing from the YouTube space. That like I'm a comic book fan, like, and I can see like Neo Sevens. You obviously are a comic book fan too. You Taladia are a comic book fan.
Yes.
And Mikey had that perspective, old school perspective, where he knew the source material. And a lot of these YouTubers, some of the more major ones, you start like, I was listening to them through the years, and I'm just like, you don't know what you're talking. Like, you literally don't know what you're talking about. It's obvious that you went and watched like a probably 10-minute recap video on the subject of the movie you're reviewing, and you're just repeating what you heard, So anyways, Mikey kind of proved to me, as y'all didn't know I existed, but I was listening, and I was like, I like this guy. And so I started listening to Rogues Gallery, and then, turned into Scoop Center and all that. And so, I was there through all the Snyder Cut, announcement and all that. And, I kind of was skeptical because Mikey was, I think, more of a Marvel fan, but that was because Marvel was, I think what he grew up with is what it seemed like, but he also loved DC Comics. He loved the source material. So I could tell that about him. And I loved that he was very genuine. He wasn't like trying to just jump on the bandwagon of Snyder Cut just because. He self-admitted he didn't like Batman v Superman when he first saw it. He's like, I don't know, I'm just saying. Like when the Snyder Cut scoop came out, He didn't care. He was like, I guess, Snyder Cut's coming out. But he was being genuine. He wasn't just trying to get clout or just trying to say things. And I respected him for that. And story time started happening.
Bourbon time, you mean?
Yes. Like, I was kind of, at first I was just like, because I could tell probably Sil's reaction. He's like, oh my God, you can't say this on my channel. These type of stories. Like, hold on, dude. Like, he would just, his facial reactions would make me crack up. So I started liking, I told him this, that I appreciated his humor. It was raunchy, it was a little shock and awe, but hey, Mikey understood entertainment, right? He understood pop
Yeah.
culture. And I think that's something that just made me like him even more when you started to learn. I come from a psychology background, so I kind of started learning how his mind kind of worked a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I respect that you're telling it how it is. And then I just started, like, after Full Circle, I kind of came out as it were to this fandom. Like, hey, this is me. I've been around listening, but I haven't, interacted. But that event, meeting Sil and Sky in person, gave me the motivation to, start jumping on streams with you guys and just supporting you all in this community. Because you didn't know this, but this community really helped me through a difficult, depressing time. And Mikey just impressed me with, I watched the interview where Sil interviewed him about Dreamwalker, the announcement. And I was just like, you know what? This dude is awesome. There's no one else like this dude. No one else like this dude.
No.
He's
one of a kind.
Trailblazing. He's trailblazing in this space. Entrepreneur, creating geekosity, having all this negativity thrown at him after Spider-Gate, and just not letting it phase him. Just like you were saying, Neo7's, like, there was so much toxicity that he could have got down to their level, and he rarely ever did that I saw. I don't know if y'all saw anything different, but I never did. And
he never dwelled on it. He never really dwelled on it. Yeah.
He never. What he did.
He was above it.
He was above it, and he told those betas, betas, you can hate me all you want, but I'm doing my thing, man. And and he never went to their level where go to their channels and harass them or anything. That's what the different Mikey Sutton never did. He never went to anybody's channel or anything. The one thing I do know though is, like, Mikey did appreciate everyone within the community, hands down. Like,
Definitely.
he brought everyone together. If it wasn't for Mikey, I wouldn't have met Sil. I wouldn't have met you guys.
Yeah. Yep. Very true.
So, which is true. It's like Mikey knew how to bring a community together. He knew how to glue everything together. And furthermore, he kind of inspired me to start doing game journalism in some way, shape, or form. So he kind of inspired me there. Sickness says, I've seen Josh around a little on Twitter for a while. I waited him to follow me back for like a year or two.
I'm pretty sure. Do I follow you, Sickness? If not, I apologize. I will check that and do that. Yeah, I've been around. Like,
Mikey.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, Mikey always said, the best revenge is success. And Mikey knew his star was rising, so he tried to get his hooks on as many of us as possible to lift us up to that, going towards that level. So we would have our successes, and we can branch off and do our little things. Mikey was, like I said, a very generous guy, very kind man, and very thoughtful man. Mikey was in the future. Mikey's from the future, and that's what he was trying to secure, all our futures.
100%.
Yeah,
and you're right. That's what really proved it to me, is seeing, like, he would say stuff so far in advance, and you couldn't be like, people would try to like debunk him, but he was just way before everyone. So eventually it did happen. You just had to wait,
Yeah, he saw the future as it's not a prediction, but it was a spoiler, as Paul Heyman would say in the WWE reference there. But but also one thing I'll say is that I was very fortunate and very, very lucky and very grateful for the fact that Mikey took his time to I was able to interview him for Dreamwalker. So when I think it was issue two, I think it was coming out, I interviewed him for that. And then when the TV show was announced, I've interviewed him for the second time. Talked about his origin, about Kate Valdez, and talked about how he met the showrunners, all of that stuff, and he went in detail. Never missed anything. And what made it so interesting about that interview was the fact that I learned so much about him,
Mhm.
so much about him, and it's just that he never missed a beat. It's like he knew how to make something work, and like I can't wait for like Dreamwalkers. Obviously without Mike, it's not gonna be the same, right? We all know that,
No.
right? But obviously we still gotta support Dreamwalker in any way, shape, or form, right? If we support Dreamwalker, it just shows that we do care. Um, Sock says Mikey want to bring us together in the Mikey verse with him to the top. Yes, he did want to bring us to the top, and the one thing I will always say, Mikey is someone I respect so much because he's a guy that had a lot happen in his life, and he inspires many people that are ill, that even if you had something bad happen to you, you can always come out of it and you can come on the other side and still have a good another 5 6 how many years you've got, but you can continue on continuously have the best moments of your life
Yeah, 100%.
and live the life to the fullest. So that's something I, I like about Mikey. He taught me so much. And as Zod was telling me off air, was like, he was going to get me on Geekosity, and he was going to do me he wanted me to do something with Geekosity. And I was a bit surprised by that because I never thought in my wildest dreams that Mikey Sutton from Geekosity would ask me to do something for Geekosity.
Mikey was growing the brand. He was protecting his brand.
Hmm.
And not only that, he was spotting talent, and he wanted to give that talent a chance to cement themselves, put their foot forward, get something basically on paper, right, on a website or whatever. Okay, I've written articles. You could, that's your resume. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing. This is the type of person Mikey was. Mikey's been a journalist for over 30 years. He's seen all different sides, right? Thanks to, I think, his nephew Alex. He said something about Mikey was known, he wrote a lot of music articles, pop culture, stuff like that. But he's also done stuff like interview like Alex Rodriguez
Yeah.
when Alex was on the Seattle Mariners. So Mikey was a journeyman. He was well versed, and he had a lot of connections, a lot of relationships. He was respected within his industry, and he used all the stuff that he's compiled, and he was trying to basically little bit here there for all of us because he saw the potential in us, right? And he tried to push us to work with our strengths. And Mikey was somebody else, man. He was just I wish I could be like a Mikey, if I was ever in a
Yeah,
position like he is, he was. Um, and I would like to think that I would be like someone like Mikey. Mikey's the type of guy that you see in those movies that, all right, kid, I'll give you a shot. Mikey's that type of guy.
Hmm.
And he was just a force within our community, within the geekdom. And it's just it was just a wonderful experience having to share any time with Mikey. And the backstage stuff that was always fun, and the little DMs
yeah,
and
yeah.
DM
Dude,
conversations. Those are
dude,
wonderful. Yeah, you
those
get a little bit
backstage
more
talk,
Mikey flavor in
yeah,
those.
yeah, those backstage talks. Oh my, they were spicy. They're not YouTube friendly.
No,
Right,
no.
right. Yeah, because you
Listen,
thought story
I didn't mind story time. I didn't mind story time.
time.
Nah, neither
I
did
didn't
I.
mind it.
But
It's gross, but I thought it was hilarious.
It was toned down considering, right?
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. It's like Mikey just knew how to do everything, and he was on multiple channels.
Mhm.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
he was not only on Sill's channel, but he was on Skywalker's channel. He was on
Speedy's multiverse.
El Necron's channel, the Multiverse channel. Um, he was doing different things, and I fully applaud him for doing so many things and building the Geekosity brand out there, letting people know who Mikey Sutton is. Because if
Yeah,
people haven't heard of Mikey Sutton, you guys, you guys really did miss, uh, you know, a great individual that knew what he was saying and cared about the community at hand.
absolutely.
And he profiled us, and he said, and every time when he was on doing Scoop Center, do you remember those Scoop Centers, Neo 7?
Yeah,
Where he used to drop bombs and everyone used to go crazy over it.
absolutely. I mean, that's who Mikey was, right? Whenever we saw him on Skywalker stream, right?
Yeah,
What did he always like? He liked to drop a bomb, and because he wanted to see our expressions, right? He wanted to see
yeah,
Skywalker's expression. He just wanted to see the joy, the surprise, the joy, and the excitement. And Mikey fed off that, you know. He fed off the positivity, and he gave it right back to us, you know. So it was a beautiful thing.
it, it was just so beautiful. The amount of times when he dropped the bomb, the chat was going like it was going
All,
crazy.
all you see is eyeballs and bombs and ears and yeah, head
Yeah,
explosions,
it,
emojis. It was great.
it was
I love being in the chat and engaging with the community. And thank you, Sil, for
yeah,
giving us a platform where we can all be ourselves and enjoy respectfully and enjoy each other company. And every now and then we rag each other, but it's cool. It's like a real. It's like as if I'm meeting you in person and you're like an old friend. We just not to make fun of your name, but like joshing around with you guys.
Right. Yeah.
It's a good time. You feel comfortable. You feel within your skin. And you feel like you're amongst your people, which is wonderful.
And I think that's what, in my opinion, that's what Mikey really was attracted to about this community was, although he may have not liked Batman v Superman, I think he at least recognized this fandom has done what no other fandom has done. Like
No, no.
we've made history, and that's something we cannot ever try to forget is that what we've accomplished is something that will go down in record books and history. Like our passion and our drive is what I think Mikey respected about us. And he was at least giving us the opportunity to continue that, and even supporting #Sell, he believed, I think, in this fandom because our passion was what he respected because he had the same passion for pop culture and he evidenced in his own, streams that he did and his company's name, it's Geekosity.
Yeah.
So
he
you
got
can just see it in his coverage. And that's something that when I really started to respect him is to see that he was not only giving back, he was giving back to all fan bases, not just the ones he liked, right?
yeah.
It was everybody. He
Yeah.
was sharing,
It was everybody.
he was promoting stuff that was passion.
He knew how to spread the love everywhere. Sock says, I remember when Mikey told me my name would be in the thank you section of the last page of Dreamwalker issue 1. I said, oh my god, thank you, Mikey. Then when issue 1 came out, I saw it, my name is in it. And Kal-El says, facts. Lol, I got the t-shirt to match, so we got the cut.
Yep. Shout out to
Going
Socks.
back. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the Socks Bulletins has a video actually with Mikey that I rewatched, and it really just was touching just to see that interaction between Socks and Mikey, where Socks talks about running and looking at issue 1. So if you haven't, I would definitely recommend checking out Socks
A-
Bulletins.
and the
Video.
funny thing is,
Absolutely.
as soon as Mikey profiled Socks, he became the character. Literally,
Yeah.
he became
He
the
embodied.
character.
Yeah,
He
he
embodied it, and
embraced it. Yeah,
he embraced it, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget that Mikey just made a character real life. And
Yeah.
just like he just knew how to do it. I also want to say thank you to Sil Abdul, by the way, because if it wasn't for not only for
absolutely.
because Sil Abdul, you know, talked about the GoFundMe thing, and I was like, you know what, if because Sil was gonna do a memorial stream as well, he was gonna do something like what I'm doing, but I reached out to Sil, said, my DMs are open to him, and I've told him if anything you need from me and all of that stuff, because um I knew he and Mike were very, very close, very, very close. So I know this impact.
That was his brother. That was his brother.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He just,
listen, it's
yeah,
understandable.
yeah,
Everybody has to take it in and process it their own way. It's
yeah.
it's it's very tough. It's a very tough situation.
That
It just breaks your heart. Everybody that knew Mikey, it just breaks your heart, man, because it was just not fair to happen to this man. He was such a good man. It, Either way you look at it, it was just not fair. But like I said before, like Sil said, Mikey made the most of it. His last few years, he made the most of it. There was no. I used to think this Mikey never slept
Yeah.
because he was up at all different hours, and
and all different time zones, by
he
the
was
way.
just yeah, there's different the different time zones, but I work at night, and I used to see Mikey 3 a.m. in the Eastern time, like 3 a.m. in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning, and he's on the West Coast. So, um, yeah, but we celebrate Mikey, we celebrate his life. What I wanted to say before was shout out to Geekosity and everyone out there, like Kieran Bug. I believe Mikey said before he's never written professionally before. Mikey gave him a shot. Mikey encouraged him, and shout out to I believe his name is James. More like behind the scenes. He's more in the behind the scenes, and everyone else that's involved with Geekosity and everyone that has contributed, like Zod Ryder and Sil. Um, Listen, support Geekosity. Um, Support Mikey's legacy. It lives on. It lives on. It lives on in all of us. And physically, there's still parts of it that lives on. There's Geekosity. There's a Dreamwalker. There's this. So I mean, the comics are printed. That's forever. That's real. That's solid. That's in the books. His name is cemented forever. He's a legend. The man's a legend. So just show your support for the things that are still going on, that are still in his name.
Yeah,
And also, yeah, listen, guys, if you can, um, whatever you can, donate to the GoFundMe
yeah. Which is
because
the
his
it's in the link.
services is in 5 days, I believe. So every little bit helps, and it's a way to give back to Mikey and his family, to help out his family, his mother, and everyone else in the family. And Mikey had a big family. He got a lot of nephews and
Yeah,
nieces.
yeah. I was
He has
surprised.
yeah, yeah, he has 3 beautiful sisters. Kathy, right? Kathy, Beth, and Jane.
Yep.
I believe that was the name. Yeah. So and a bunch of nieces and nephews. Um, and you know what? Mikey had a lot of brothers and sisters too,
Mhm.
because I consider him my brother. You know,
Yeah.
and Mikey was, like I said, Mikey was that guy. He was an
Mikey was
undeniable human being, like a
yeah.
perfect example of a human being. So,
Mikey was
and
like
human spirit.
yeah, Mikey was like an uncle to me. He did feel like an uncle figure to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
It's like that cool.
because
I'm telling you, it's like that cool uncle that you're like besties, and he's
yeah,
always into the cool stuff. Showing you new things and taking you to cool places, and yeah,
showing
Mikey is the
showing showing you
Mikey
new
was the best.
showing you different things that would blow your minds. So
Yeah.
it's like he knew how to do that. And guys, if you aren't already donated to the GoFundMe, please use the GoFundMe link which is in the chat. And we do have one of Mikey's family members here, Jane. Hi, Jane.
Oh,
No, and no worries. Um, we're doing this for your family. We want to raise as much money as we can for your family,
absolutely.
and Mikey meant a lot to all of us, including myself, as um, you know,
Yeah.
because Mikey did so much for me in terms of making me smile, making me laugh, and I was fortunate and lucky to have an interview with him and take his time just to talk about his comics and his show that he was coming up, and he had so much things planned that I couldn't believe it. It took me 3 days, to try and recuperate because I was in so much shock because I could not believe Mikey had passed. So that's why I put a nice comment on the Facebook page as well to tell people my story about how I knew Mikey. And thank you, Jane, as well for being here.
Did y'all see the little
Absolutely.
video that Geekosity Twitter posted? With it's Mikey just talking and laughing. It was posted, I think, today or yesterday, but it's just a short little video where
I saw Geekosity post that on
Oh
Twitter.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I did.
beautiful. Yeah, it was great to hear his voice again.
yeah,
That
His
laugh,
laugh,
that
his laugh. Yeah,
he's
it got me.
infectious. Yeah,
just genuine, just very full of life. Like, the man was full of life.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't worry, Jane. She says thank you from the bottom of my heart. So we, I appreciate you. Anything you need, my DMs are open on social media, but it's Twitter. I'm on Facebook, as well. You probably noticed as well. So if you want to message me there, you can. You can reach out to me if you feel like you need someone to talk to. Then that's all fine and dandy. That dude Vince says, can't say I was a fan of Mikey, but hate what he was going through. Hope he rest easy.
yeah, he went through so much, and he fought
Yeah,
through, to make his passions a reality, like with so many obstacles in his way. Like
Yeah,
that's an inspiration.
Mikey's sister Jane posted my tribute song to Mikey on Facebook. I thanked her; it meant a lot to me. And Jane says we're playing that song during his
Oh,
burial service. I know that's gonna mean a lot. That is gonna mean a lot. Like,
it's coming up on, I think, Friday, September 8th, everyone. So it's very soon. We're almost, to the halfway point of the goal for the GoFundMe. So any donation that you can manage, I know I was shocked like you, Taladia, and everyone here. And I wanted to give immediately, but it was the end of the month and I was like, I do have to pay rent. So as soon as I paid my rent, I made sure to make my donation. So whatever you can give, when it's right for you guys, if you can help the family. I've had to organize a GoFundMe for a family tragedy myself, and it just, you don't understand how much it means for a total stranger to like donate to your family during a time when you don't know how you're going to get through it. So if you have the means, and you can donate, do that, or at least sharing it on social media or just word of mouth. If you
yeah,
know if you have that kindness in your heart, please do that for the family during.
even if you don't have the funds, share the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring. It shows that you do care and you do want to do this stuff because like I'm gonna be donating tonight. Actually, I'm gonna be donating the, am- the the amount of money that was donated to me today. I'm gonna put that straight into the GoFundMe. That's coming out of my own pocket. That's going straight into Mikey's GoFundMe. Jason, you do not need to worry. Any money that I get goes straight into that. And I'm not monetizing this stream at all because it's for the respect of Mikey and his family. Because I feel it's wrong if I monetize this and do it for money now.
Yeah. 100%.
So Jane says all this means so much to us. All the love for my brother. Yes, he meant a lot. He
Yeah.
really did. He did so much in so little time. I mean,
Yeah.
he did Scoop Center was great. Every week I used to tune into Scoop Center, and I knew Mikey just knew I knew Mikey would just blow our socks off in terms of how
Mm,
Socks would say it. And
that-
yeah, Socks says Mikey was absolute best. We all miss him deeply. We do. I miss him every day because um he was very special.
Yeah.
Uh, Bishop says he was special and one of a kind. There'll never be another one like him.
mm.
There'll never there'll never be another Mikey because what Mikey has accomplished will never be repeated. No other person will be able to do what Mikey's done.
And that's something that was rare for us too, right? Is to like have somebody like with Spidergate. I talked about this on Bat Dan's channel. Like he was basically going up ahead, going against the Hollywood narratives. And when you do that, when you go against Hollywood, we all saw what happened. He was dogpiled
Yeah.
on. He had so many detractors, so many people trying to discredit him or like dig stuff from the past. Like the man was a troublemaker, self-proclaimed. That's why he named
So,
his and Sill's show Rogues Gallery, because we're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed. And I really respected that intro because he was doing that for not only us, but just fans. He did Spidergate for Kate Valdez, right? On her
yeah,
Yeah.
birthday. Like
on her
out of
birthday, yeah.
kindness. And I loved and appreciated that about the man so much. And that is something that, like you said, is one of a kind and is sadly, I think, going to be missed in this community because, a lot of these Hollywood article companies and corporations, they all are owned by the same company, y'all. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They
having that
are.
independent voice that's not under these umbrellas is very few and far between. So that's why I'm very happy to know that Geekosity will continue in Mikey's honor, and it's apparently, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is official, but it's going to continue to be Mikey Sutton's Geekosity in the logo. So I think that's the best way to honor him is that company continue to just go against the grain of Hollywood and, be troublemakers.
Be rogues.
Be
Yep.
rogues,
Be
Be the
yeah.
rogues.
mavericks.
Be the rogues gallery that we all love.
Yes. Jane says she's overwhelmed with gratitude. You don't need to thank us. We want to thank you for allowing you to share Mikey with us, and we're sharing him with us means a lot because he meant a lot to us. Um, but also, I was going to mention this is the fact that I know I want to make Mikey proud. Even after he's gone, I want to continue to make as much content as I can for Mikey to make him proud and to show that look, you know what, no matter what whether I've got disability or non-disability, I can still do it because that's what Mikey showed me. So he said, I want to be able to show to other people I can do it, and Mikey's proven that he proven it to me that even if you have problems in your life, you can you can you know still get on with it and you can be in a positive way. And Mikey has shown me that in a really cool way. So I'm gonna lead, set by example or example that was set to me and go by that. And that's what I want to do. And I also want to spread the positivity to everybody that I can and make that well known that everyone can be positive. Even if you have a dull day, you can still have a positive outcome from it. So I want to make people smile. That's my goal. And
You would want that for sure, Talati.
yeah,
For all of
like
us.
for everybody within Sil Nation, the Syndicate, the Cool Table, um, Sil Nation, you name it, everyone. It's just it's so overwhelming. And Jane, I promise you this: we will try and get you up to 10K. We we promise you this: we'll try and get you up to that 10K that for the GoFundMe, because it would mean not only mean a lot to the community, but as well, I'm sure you probably would understand that this would mean as well so much to your family. She says you're making people smile. I appreciate that. I like I said, I'm just a guy that's trying to do the right thing and also trying to make people proud. Really,
Yeah. And I
I
think
mean,
that was what Mikey saw in you is like you're, like like we were saying earlier, he knew how to focus on everyone's strengths and talents, and you're such a big guy in gaming that I think he probably respected that. I don't think Mikey, I don't know if the family can correct me if I was wrong, but I don't know if Mikey was a huge gamer or not. I know he probably, back in the day probably played games like most of us, but I think he saw that you were very up in the know to Ladia about, everything going on. I think you did a Gamescom stream
yes,
recently.
yes,
You've done a lot of the I think did you do a video game awards?
yes. I did the
Yeah.
video game awards. I've done the video game awards, Summer Game Fest live reactions.
Yeah.
I've done news that are covering leaks or anything that are
Mortal Kombat you did?
more.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. I've covered I've covered a lot of things. And when I did the when I do the stuff with Sil, it's just as soon as I hear the news, I pass it to Sil, and then we can organize a stream up, or or a collab together, because that's something that he and I wanted to do. And Sil knew that I had a lot of stuff in the gaming spectrum,
and
and
there's
it
a lot
was
of
really
crossover with comic characters and games now, and
yeah. Mikey knew about me, and he's probably seen the amount of stuff I've done on my channel for gaming, especially because I used to do uh before, like, I used to do gaming live streams, like, play video games live and whatnot. I took a break from that because I finished that game and I wanted to do something else. So, and I've started exploring different ventures, do reaction live streams to my adventure with Superman and Superman and
Mhm.
Lois, and started covering that. And it was all thanks to Mikey.
Yeah.
It was all thanks to Mikey, because Mikey said, don't keep yourself because what Mikey was trying to say to me in my mind was, don't keep yourself in the bubble.
Hmm.
Explore other ventures, because if you explore the ventures, you might find something out there that will, you know, suit you to your niche.
Yeah.
So, so that's
You
what's
got
happened. And I'm still covering the gaming stuff. I'm still doing everything I can. And Jane, thank you so so much. You know, from hearing this from you makes makes make me want to cry in a way, because I never thought somebody would, as kind as you, would say so many nice things to me.
Yeah. It's been a joy to see like I've seen like a few, family members post like just pictures of him hanging out with his family. And it's just cool to
Yeah.
see, there was pictures in that Geekosity video
Video,
too.
yeah, it made
Um,
me cry. It really did. And I, I'm just like, I wish Mikey was still here every day. Every day when I wake up, I wish Mikey was here. I wish I could DM him,
yeah.
because I used to message Mikey, not every time, because I already know Mikey was a busy person. So I never used to bother him, because I know with the stuff that he was doing. But whenever there was something special, news or something, I wanted to share it with him. Any leaks I found, I wanted to share it with him, because I wanted Geek Gossips to cover it before anybody else did.
Yeah. Yeah. That loyalty, right? Like that
Yeah,
loyalty that Mikey had
thank you.
uh, instilled in him, he gave back to others, and we wanted to
Yeah,
give it back to him. I did the same thing when I had saw Blue Beetle early, and I was like, hey, I think you were right about something. And he's like, really? What do you mean? I was like, you had a theory about Justice League. Like, I think you might want to know this. So he's like, what? I was like, I think you're right. He's like, oh my goodness. So he was the person I wanted to tell that to. He's like, Mikey was right again. Like,
Mikey's always right.
Mikey's right. Hashtag Mikey was right. Mikey
Yeah.
We'll
is
say it again. We'll definitely be saying it again.
Oh yeah, it's not the end of that hashtag, right? Neo Sevens.
No,
No, it's not the end of that.
it's never the end of that hashtag.
Remember, Mikey's from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. He is from the future, and he's from the man from outer space as well. I mean, that saying I'll never forget. Um, and I'll say this as well. When it comes down to Dreamwalker, the one thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing your guys in there. You guys that are in
That'd
Dreamwalker,
be wonderful.
that'd be amazing. And to see what Mikey has actually written for the Dreamwalker, it's going to be really special. I think for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
Absolutely.
because now that he's no longer there, but there's still stuff that he left behind. It's like it's hard to intake because it meant so much. Dreamwalker meant so much to me because it was something that I could go to and read upon and enjoy. I tried to get the second issue and it was sold out
yeah,
within
Yeah.
minutes.
that's same here.
I couldn't get the second issue. I tried to get the first issue as well, and it got sold out. So and Zuck saying Dreamwalker issue 3 will be amazing. Yes. That's what I'm looking forward to. It's like Dreamwalker issue 3. It's something I'm gonna definitely try and get my hands on. If I can't, then obviously I'll try and speak to someone from Geekos to see if they're gonna lend me a copy or something. I could do a review on and do a special stream for that.
Yeah.
And because that's something I want to do is to continue Mikey's legacy by
Absolutely. 100%.
continue the Dreamwalker support and even watch the TV shows because when the Dreamwalker TV show drops, I'll be sure to react to it because that's something I want to do. I said this to Mikey as well. I want to react to your show because he says, would you believe he told me the show was actually British and Philippines based?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he said that.
Yeah.
pretty unique. Like,
Yeah, he couldn't tell me. He told me that he couldn't tell me the first interview that he had a TV show, so he had to wait until later to tell me. I'm just like, oh man. I was just like, oh man. So, but yeah, he's an amazing individual. So amazing. And guys, anyone that new is dropping into the chat right now, guys, there is a GoFundMe link to Mikey Sutton's GoFundMe. Please, I beg you guys, please go support this because it helps Mikey's family so much, and they'll be eternally grateful for the stuff you donate, even if it's £5, $5, $2. It goes a long way, right? Even if you got $1, put the $1 in. It doesn't matter. Money is money at the end of the day, because
yeah.
that's they'd be appreciative of that. Um, Sock says Mikey's legacy has to continue as long as his family wants it to continue. Then I say let's keep it going for Mikey and his family and the Mikey verse. Yes. And Socks, if you ever want to come on the show, I have sent you a link on in your private DMs on Twitter. Then, you're more than willing to come on and you can share your experiences, Mikey, because I do want to hear other people's stories as well. And if any of you guys do want to in the chat want to hop on, let me know and I'll send you guys a link to the StreamYard and you guys can hop on and tell myself, Marcus, and Josh your journeys of how did you guys were introduced to Mikey? How did this whole thing kick off for you? Because I love to hear stories, and stories is very unique way, and it'll make people smile, and that's what we want to do: is make people smile and to continue on his legacy by telling nice stories, being positive, and always being energetic. That's what we need to be, guys. Being energetic, and it means a lot. Like, what would you guys have to say about that?
Well, we can always go back and look at the old streams and get that little piece of Mikey, that infectious laugh, that wit and humor that he has, that I totally love. Um, it's it's there. We have reminders, and we have our memories, and you know Mikey will live on. He definitely will live on, and we will definitely share share his stories. Mikey was a funny guy, especially like behind the scenes. Mikey was
Uh-huh.
a he's a really funny guy.
Oh
He
yeah,
had a
I
lot of
know.
stories to tell,
Oh,
and
he did.
he was old school and new school. Mikey. He's a funny guy.
He was a
We
funny
we,
guy,
we shared
yeah.
a bunch of laughs, uh, and we're here to celebrate him, and
Yeah.
carry on for him.
We're gonna carry on for his legacy. We want to continue that. Josh, you got what you said
Yeah,
when what I've said.
no, like kind of what you were saying, like that energy, like you were talking about, it is still here. It was so, I was gonna say it was like really centered in Mikey, in my opinion. Like he self-proclaimed after his stroke. I think in 2018 is when it happened the first time. He said, it was borrowed time that he had. After that, and I think we all kind of, in a way, felt that in his passion, and how he was channeling all that into Geekosity and Dreamwalker and this TV show and this book deal. Like the dude was, doing so much. And like I said earlier, he had so many obstacles and barriers that it's inspiring. And it's not, you know, fair that vessel that we had shared with is not with us, but it is in us now. All the
Yeah.
passion that he had is being shared with all of us. And it's not right for us to let that energy go unused, untapped. We all just going to channel it back into each other. And I think that's what Mikey loved. He said in the Geekosity, 3-year anniversary stream to us, like this is only the beginning, and this community is what kept him going. Is that we all supported each other, we all leaned on each other, we all fought for each other, and he didn't have time for those betas, like he was just
Yeah.
like they're mad because no one's paying attention to them because they don't have the
F those
support
betas.
this community does. And that's what I loved, is that he never, like I said, he never let it phase him. Like you said, Neo Sevens, it always just kind of dirt off the
Brush it
shoulder,
off.
dirt off the
Yeah.
shoulder, like.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I think we all kind of know that stream where he was just on, I think it was on Night Shift or one of Sill's stream. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
because I can. Why am I going to do a
Yeah.
TV show? Because I can. He was like bragging about me covering Voltree's 5 Legacy for him. And he's like, why am I sending a friend to go cover this? Because I can. And I just
Yeah.
got so much joy of that expression that's become its own little way of like honoring, Mikey now too, in little, if kind of ways. Like
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah.
that passion in his voice and that laugh. And it's not gonna go away. Like I said, it's all here. It's
No.
all in here, guys. We just all gotta make sure to.
It's all it's all mhm. It's all inside of us, and like his laugh is infectious. Made us laugh. Come on, we can't
Mhm.
disagree on that.
He was an
Like
I love
entertainer,
it.
he was an entertainer. He wasn't
He
trying
was.
to be, but he was just naturally.
he was naturally gifted. Like he knew how to do different things. He was a multitasker. He reminded me
Yeah.
of someone that I know in my personal life who was a multitasker, and I was just like, Mike is someone I know, and I was just like, I wish I could have gotten another interview with him, sit down with him just to talk about Dreamwalker to talk more about Dreamwalker. Um, but obviously he says that he said to me things that I couldn't do because of because financial reasons. But I said to him, no matter what, though, I'm still gonna promote your stuff. I'm still promoting Geekosity, man. I'll still support Geekosity. I'll still support Scoop Center. I'm a member of Still Nation, like membership wise. Like I I'm paying towards that, and you know, yeah, I love that so much. Leon's here as well. Leon from the New Geeks.
Of
Hey,
Leon.
it says rest in
So,
peace to
yeah.
the legend, Mikey Sutton. Thank you for all showing so much love. No worries, Leon. Did you know this stream is particularly for Mikey's GoFundMe because I want to raise that awareness so people can donate to it because we want to reach that $10,000 goal. We do want to reach that, and you know Jane's here as well, one of Mikey's family members. So we are, you know, doing this for her as well and making her smile, making her laugh, telling stories. So if you ever want to hop on Leon, send me a message and I can send you a link if you want to hop on the StreamYard and
Yes.
you can tell us the stories, some of the stories that are out of this world because I know there's stories that that is off this world. I know that because there's always behind the scenes stuff,
Hmm.
backstage stuff that is wild. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Marcus, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, you are right. And some things we can't share
Yeah,
because like
something yeah,
between us
yeah,
and Mikey, that
yeah,
But
yeah.
like I said, Mikey was a special guy. He definitely will live on in our souls. He's just a
He's
wonderful experience. I mean, listen, I was in total shock because I remember I was on Sill's stream earlier that evening, and I had to leave because I had to go to a party. So I'm at this party, a friend's party, and my time, the party was like 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I didn't look at my phone until like 2, 3 in the morning. And when I was checking messages and stuff, and when I saw what I saw, I I thought I was like, "It's a hoax. What the heck is this?" And I'm at a party that's still going on. So I just I was just the next like two. I didn't leave the party till almost 5 in the morning. It's like 2, 3 hours after I found out. I was just in shock. And when I got home, I couldn't sleep. I was like, I just couldn't believe I just couldn't believe the news, and I did not know what to do. I didn't know what to do, and
it must
I
have
was
been
like
like crazy,
I
right?
was kind of like looking at some of the stuff that was being messaged and posted, and I was in complete shock. I didn't know how to respond, and I think I mostly I didn't say anything because I just didn't know what to say or didn't know how to react. And then it was just so surreal. Like I did not know how to react, how to respond, how to function. And then I was thinking to myself, I need to say something that's like positive, I need to because I know everybody was down. Everybody gut punch. Um, and I tried to, whenever I could, type out the words. I tried to put out anything that would be positive and maybe inspirational, because it was just, how do you react to that? You know, you suddenly lose a best friend, and but then you kind of try to find your way, and you try to anchor it, and try to lead people back into the bring them back into the positive side of it,
Mhm.
because we could just sink into our sorrows, but we need some type of positive light. Mikey was a positive light, and I tried to bring some positive words to console, and a little bit of you pour yourself into you try to find like a purpose, and pour yourself into it, and and I think the most important thing that I was thinking about is try to remain positive, uh, and try to celebrate Mikey, and because that's what Mikey was all about. He was all about celebration. He's all about lifting others up, and you know, I I hope that I did Mikey proud in whatever I could do. You know, uh, he was a good guy. And
I think that's the
and
best
he
way to
didn't.
honor him.
Yeah, that's the
He then we have to remember all the good stuff. We have to celebrate it. Yes, we miss our friend. We it's tough. It's tough to process it. And I come from like old school. We hold this stuff in. We don't show this stuff. We hold it in.
yeah,
We just deal with it. It is what it. We just deal with it. But when you come across somebody as special as Mikey was, you give it back. You show that you care, you love for this person. You have to. He knew we loved him. He knew. He definitely. He felt it. Yeah, that's why he was trying to give so much back to us.
yeah,
So, like I said, celebrate his life, celebrate his works, you know, celebrate his memory. Mikey is a legend. Um, and I don't think I'll ever meet a person like Mikey again. He's like one of a kind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what
He was so
he was, just a voice of positivity, like you said, right? And
yeah,
totally.
he would want you to still stay positive, and you by you using that moment to, you know, be positive for the family, for the friends, for this community. That's that's amazing, Neo Sevens. That we all kind of process this in different ways, and we can go two directions, right? We can turn to the darkness and lash out and be impulsive and emotional, or we can just do the right thing and live by example. And what Mikey did, right? Mikey was always positive. Mikey had so much going on in his own personal life, but he showed up for us, and he was always making us laugh, always entertaining us, always being a voice of positivity. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Live out your passions. Keep fighting for this. Keep
Live out your dreams,
yeah.
as he said, kept on
Yeah.
saying. Um, Leon says, if I wasn't busy, I'd hop on, gentlemen. You all are in my prayers. Keep your heads held high. Mikey saw greatness in all of us. Let's become what he knew what we could be.
Mm.
Sock says, I can't believe it's been a week since Mikey passed away. Doesn't seem fair. He is such a great person. So love for all has done for his family and us in the Mikey verse. Jane says he was our only brother.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, it surprised me that night. It took me a long time to process it. I didn't want to stream or anything over last weekend at all. As soon as Mikey passed, I was didn't want to do anything. I had organized, you know, collabs with people, and I couldn't do it because I was so down. I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. It's like it it does it does make me think a lot, you know, that we shouldn't take things for granted. So,
Mikey
that's
would tell us. He said, "Don't take things for granted." He said,
yeah.
"Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself and take care of each other." Mikey would tell us that.
Jane sending prayers to your mom. She says her mom's in the hospital. She just caught COVID.
Oh man. Duh.
What's up, gents?
Hey, hey, Jared. Thanks for popping on.
Anytime, dude.
Oh,
We're
Prayers, prayers.
just talking about Mikey. So can you tell us your story of how you got like know Mikey or stories or you heard stories about Mikey?
Well, I only did one stream with Mikey, and that was here on Taladia's channel. But I was well familiar with the effect he had on the community because obviously in this space and being as pro Snyder as I am, you hear the stuff. I've watched him with Sill all the time, so I was well aware of the treasure he was to the community. And it's a hell of a loss. It did not see that coming. It's one of those things where it makes you Neo Sevens. When I came in, I heard you bring up the whole how Mike used to say don't take anything for granted. And yeah, 100%. This 100% hammers that in.
Yeah, it's like there was so much that Mikey brought to us, and like I used to tell Jared all the time that Mikey was doing stuff on Scoop Center and stuff like that. I used to,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
every time it was just like I used to tune in for that, and you know, our collab with like myself and Jared's collab was 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 so interesting because that's what forced engaged me to do more collabs with Jared because Mikey just saw so much in me, so I just wanted to do more with Jared. So
In fact, there was a funny moment on that when we were talking about James Gunn's new DC universe, and I shared this hilarious meme. It showed like Zack Snyder's Justice League on top, and below it says James Gunn's Justice League, and it's that clip from The Big Bang Theory where they're all cosplaying as the Justice League to win a costume party at the comic book store, and we all had a good laugh about that.
yeah, I remember that. I'll never forget that.
That was a good one, yeah.
Mikey
Uh,
loved you.
Jane says thank you. She's feisty like the rest of us.
We're praying for her, Jane,
Yeah.
man. I
Okay.
mean,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
praying for your mom. I mean, COVID is still around, and it sucks with everything your family's going through. If you can, donate to the family. That GoFundMe link in the description. That would mean the world, especially with their mom in the hospital
Yes,
right now. That's probably
in the
more medical expenses.
it's in the
Yeah.
description and also in the pinned comment on the live stream. So if you guys do want to donate, feel free to go and donate to GoFundMe to Mikey, it helps tremendously, guys. Even if it's $1, even if it's $1, it still helps, right? So I'll say that,
100%.
right? And if you haven't got any money, you can't spare any cash because of financial reasons. Share the link. Let people know that because that's the main key focal point is that we share this link, let people know about Mikey's GoFundMe, raise as much money as we can for Mikey's family, and raise that awareness, guys. Because if Mikey would want us to do as much as we can. If something ever happened to one of us, right? The tables would be on the other foot, if you know what I mean. He would be telling other people, well, why don't you donate to GoFundMe for Taladia's family, for example, or if he's something has happened to me or something, for example, right? So he'd be saying the same thing if the shoe was on the other foot.
He
So
would.
he
Yeah.
would. So I implore you guys, please, please, please donate. So so we'll end it off in a bit, but I want to ask everyone to think about their favorite Mikey moment and let us know what is your favorite Mikey moment since knowing him.
It's a Rolodex. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, there's so many
I'm
favorite
like,
moments.
oh man.
Uh, I think, man, there's so many. But since I'm the fan of the story time. I think I think I like the pure joy he was getting out of telling that story. It's like it was such a for him, it was such a hilarious story that while he's telling it, it's one of those stories he's laughing as he's telling it. He enjoyed telling it so much, and we enjoyed cringing and laughing at it
Laughing at the
so much.
sky.
Uh, I think he liked to see our reactions. He liked that engagement with us as a community, and I don't know. There's so many favorite moments, but I loved it when he used the word beta. The beta. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
But,
That's
he
as
wasn't
nasty as it
a
would be.
very addictive guy, but when the betas had it coming to them, they got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the beta and the story time, and there's so many though.
I, I
I,
mean, what about you, Josh?
I got a kick out of the first thing that pops into my mind is I don't know if you guys were aware, but I was on Sil Abdul's birthday stream and he had an open panel so anyone could come on, and I had met him at Full Circle. So right as I had jumped backstage, Mikey had just joined the stream. And I was like, honestly, I was like, because I respected this man after watching him for so long, I was really freaking out. And I put on some glasses, a pair of sunglasses last minute, because I was like, one, I had met Sil and Sky with sunglasses, but I was also just kind of like freaking out too. So I'm like, I was going to wear these just in case, and I got to tell Mikey that I, had been around for a while, and I referenced the Hamada burgers that were so often happening on streams. Like, as we are in this fandom, we knew about the Hamada burgers that were being served to us. Here, eat this. And we were like, nope. And I just kind of slid that in, and Mikey was like, "Oh, you know about the Hamada burgers?" I was like, "I've been watching. I'm not just saying that I've watched. Trust me, I've been listening. I've been doing. I'm cleaning. I'm driving. I'm at the gym. I'm doing stuff, but I'm listening, and that's something that I just got. That's my memory. I think is Mikey's voice. In my head, just the laugh, the joyous voice. So meeting him for the first time on that stream and interacting with him briefly, and then him wanting to come on to my YouTube channel, which before I had interviewed Sky, it had 6 subscribers, then it went up to 12, and then I interviewed Mikey, which was my last YouTube, and it went up to like 45, you know? And so I'm not even trying to be a YouTuber, but I was just honored that he wanted to come on to my YouTube channel, share about Dreamwalker with me. And, you know, and I learned, you know, so much about him. He dropped little tidbits here and there on different streams, you know, but I really got like the whole, what his biggest inspiration was, being published. I think at 19 years old is how young he was when he first got published. I believe.
I think
he
so.
said. And he still, you know, talked about that letter that he still had. I mean, the publishing article that he still had. So just honored that he went on my show and then told me that I was a character that he wanted to put in Dreamwalker. Like, that's just not something that anyone has ever done for me. That's just super selfless, like for all of us to have been, you know, a part of this journey and this creation of this universe, and to be in the Mikeyverse, just like amazing to be connected with all you guys, and now to have been connected to the family. Like, it's all because of this man who was so selfless and wanted to share his passion with us. So yeah, I will cherish that YouTube stream. And I the only way I knew how to cope, like y'all, I just went back and started watching old streams of Sills or Skies, or, you know, Lords of the Long Box, or Speedy's Multiverse, or Pandora's Box, or all the shows that he was on. He did so much, and I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss you, Mikey.
Yeah,
He's here. You know,
he's here for sure.
Definitely.
He's in our hearts for sure. For me, my favorite moment has to be the time when he dropped the Henry Cavill Superman return. You know what I'm talking about.
Remember when we were excited about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. We were
What a happy moment.
beside ourselves.
It was so good. I remember him and Sil were doing a live stream, and he Sil dropped it, but Mikey was like doubling down on it. I remember that. I was just like, I don't want favorite moments, because I was like, yes, this is what I need to hear. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Sil. This is what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Because I need someone that I needed Mikey's you know, doubling down to basically confirm my theory, which was him coming back, and he was right. He was right. Mikey was right.
He was right. Mikey was right, and Mikey was selfless, because he said, with the suit, the Cavill suit thing.
Yeah.
He said, "I'll take the L," and Sil was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "I'll happily take the L," because he wanted to prop up his friend and celebrate his friend, because his friend got a W, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the type of person Mikey was, you know? Man. I wish there was more Mikeys, you know?
I wish there was.
I wish there was more Mikeys. Yeah.
I mean,
But,
it's just crazy. Like, when that happened, I was like, yes. I told Jared about it instantly. I DM'd him about it, and I was like, you know, Henry's coming back, right? And I remember him telling him that, and he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Mikey said it on stream.
To be clear, I've been burned before, so I was rightfully like, okay, well,
understandably, yeah,
understandably, I was a little bit, but then I thought, well, the Snyder Cut came out, so it can't be totally out of the realm of possibility. And then he made the announcement on Instagram. We all know what happened after that.
Yeah.
But
hey, scoop confirmed though.
Scoop confirmed.
Confirmed. So
Mikey was right.
Mikey was right.
Yeah.
My favorite was every single time he was proven right, because the one thing I hear from the community, from the general Twitter community, is how they try to say that he was making this stuff up, but it got to the point where too much stuff he was getting right. So I was like, unless this dude is literally a clairvoyant, there's got to be something going on here. So
he can't be that good of a guesser, right?
It was my fifth.
I think he has sources.
it was my favorite thing to keep a tally. It's like him and Sil. I actually told Sil when I had him on my channel, I was like, yeah, the fun part is seeing people say you don't know what you're doing. And then all of a sudden, like seeing like one after the other, literally everything is coming back.
Yeah.
And,
Receipts.
His Facebook had Doomsday and the death of Superman from 2014 that he scooped. Like it's still there, guys. You can go back and look from 2014.
Yeah, it was astounding. But the number one like thing that I think about was about how when we interviewed him on Taladia's channel and hearing the passion he had for this community and for comics, and in a way, because of him, I met Josh, I met Taladia, and I met all the awesome people in this community that I now count as friends. It's really it's an interesting effect.
Yeah, it's a domino effect, as we like to call it. Sock says Mikey was right. Mikey verse hashtag Dreamwalker. Yes, Socks.
That's right.
And you know, before we end, I always wanna say this, Socks. My DMs are open to you. If you ever need to speak to any of us within the community, we know that how much this has affected you. And we know how much Mikey meant a lot to you. So my DM's are open to you. You can message me, you can voice call me, whatever. You can message me, and you know we can talk for hours on end if you need be. And before we end, reminder: GoFundMe. You know the Mikey's link is there. I'm donating as we speak right now using my $5 because that's what it says. $5. I'm putting $5 in, using the $2 from Bishop that Bishop gave me, using that, putting that straight in to Mikey GoFundMe. So I recommend you guys do the same. And guys, this has been an amazing stream. Thank you to everyone. I mean, literally everyone that turned up, you know, and supported, you know, came through, told me your stories. Thank you to Marcus. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Jared for coming on the panel. Thank you to Jane for coming by my stream. I wasn't expecting Mikey's family member to come through. Socks, you're an amazing person. Never forget that. Bishop, thank you for coming through. Also, Leon, thanks for coming through. Leon from the New Geeks. Sickness, Mr. J, Kal-El, who else is there? I gotta go through the list. I also want to thank who else is there? Kal-El, Sickness. Obviously, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much everybody that I can think of. Socks, like I said, DM me, bro, and we can talk.
I think he's Mikey's #1 fan, right? Socks
Yeah.
Bulletins. Yeah, #1.
Socks is Socks. If you guys don't listen to what Socks says, he will take your socks.
Watch your socks.
Watch your socks.
Guard your socks.
Watch your socks, and else he'll grade them, and he'll be like, "Ah, finally got your socks." Hang up.
Can't wait for that Dreamwalker issue 3.
Yeah, can't wait for it. So on that note, thank you to everyone that was watching. God bless to everyone, and to Jane, my DM's open to you, and I'll message you if need be, if you ever want to talk to me at all about Mikey. So until then, stay safe out there. I've been your host, Taladia Plays. That has been the Lads, and we'll see you guys very, very soon for another live stream. Peace.